Hey guys, Kaido in another YouTube video, and I'm going to be talking to you about Kha'zix's setups this season. So, his best rune page, by far, is Dark Harvest. With Sun Impact, you can take Grizzly Mementos or Sixth Sense, and it depends which one you want. I've been liking the Sixth Sense a lot recently because I noticed that every 2 invades, or every buff invade pretty much, so every 2 rounds, you will have it up and you might be able to reveal a word that usually you won't know that's there, and it's pretty nice to know if there are words in certain areas so you don't waste as much time. And yes, you can clear them and such, but like then the invade might just not end up happening because, you know, if they know you're there, they'll probably play the full defend, or it's just very hard to invade. And lastly, Treasure Hunter or Relentless Hunter. I don't like ulti Hunter that much this season. I think it's kind of necessary, but I just take Treasure Hunter most of my games now. I just want to make money. Just hit my spikes faster. I like to hit the Yumis faster. And yeah, and you could take Relentless Hunter if you want, but I think I would only take that if I was going Hubris for some apparent reason in the game. But yeah, Treasure Hunter, really consistent for me. And for shards, I always take double adaptive and scaling HP. For secondary runes with Dark Harvest, you can go Inspiration, Sorcery, or Precision. Precision Tree is probably the best one because you can go either Q or Evolve with it. And the reason why I say it's the best for those reasons, because with R Evolve, you kind of want more haste because, you know, usually with Q Evolve, like your Q CD is halved whenever you Q someone. But with R Evolve, you don't have that luxury. So having more haste with R Evolve is pretty nice. And even with Q Evolve, the Legend Haste will still give you value, right? But it's just to basically have an option to go either Q or Evolve without any like downside. And you take Charm with it over like Coup and Cut Down because the damage from Coup and Cut Down is kind of not needed. The champ already does enough damage, and I just value HP a lot from like team fight. Just getting extra like HP to be able to re-enter a fight is like pretty like insane. So yeah, and the money, I mean, the money is not that much, but it's nice, I guess, after all. And for like sorcery, this is really good if the game is gonna become very scaling. I usually only take it if there's like champs like Aso and Smolder on the same team for some reason. So basically, I never take sorcery usually. And Freeboots Cosmic is just the most consistent because like you can never go wrong. You get free boots and you get Cosmic inside, which is very good for invading. So yeah. So Conquer, I literally only take this rune if there are legit 4+ very tanky champions. I do not remember the last time I took Conquer. I'm gonna be honest. This season, I probably have like not that many Kha'zix games, but I have a decent amount, I would say, across like all elos, and I only play lethality, so Dark Harvest will always just be better with that. And yeah, if you don't see like champs like, I don't know, let's say like Rammus, Owlstar, Ornn on the same team with like another tanky like Seraph champion, I don't know, something like that, I just wouldn't go Conquer unless I see those champs. And I would still build very like high damage like going to items like Shojin, Grudge, and like Serpents or something. I would not build Bruiser at all this season. I think it's completely useless. Just buying damage items is better, helps you with your clearing, helps you with your fighting, and they just are stronger than just going flat out Eclipse Cleaver Kha'zix. I think that build is just terrible. And for secondary runes, you always go Boots Cosmic because no other runes will give you value like these two. Okay, as I said before, I'm going to show you like the first items, like the best spikes, and then the second, and third, fourth. Let me know how you guys like this format. I kind of changed it a bit, but yeah. Either way, when you spike on Kha'zix, the first lethality component, so Dirk or Brutalizer, then your full item, and then your second Dirk component is where lethality champions tend to be very disgustingly OP in terms of damage. And then when you hit your Last Whisper, those are his main spikes. I know second item spike is not there, but it's not like, it's like good, but it's not like as insane as the other spikes basically. So for first items, you got Yumu's, which is my most preferred first item. It has a lot of damage and has a lot of mobility, which is Kha'zix wants. It's just to be a very big presence on the map. And then you got Eclipse, which is his best skirmish item. Though I do think Shojin is just better first than Eclipse, to be honest, because I think Eclipse's D scale is very fast nowadays, in my opinion at least for Kha'Zix, and I think Shojin is such a great like scaling item, and it's also a really good first item too. Like you get a lot of HP, a lot of ED. Baltic and Hubris, I would say it's kind of the same boat. Very high tempo, very risky items in my opinion. But Voltaic is just a very like, it's an okay item. You can go either go Q or R Vol with it. It's very flexible. But for Hubris, I think this item, unless you're literally going to 1v9 and you have 4 deadweight teammates, I think it's just the biggest waste of gold. It costs so much money for no reason. And like the value of it is not even that insane, to be honest. So before I go into the second and third plus items, I'm going to tell you some rules I have for Kha'Zix that I follow like for his items. Opportunity, I usually never build this item unless I know I'm dropping a nuke on enemy team. Hubris, I only buy this first item, and like I said earlier, only if I have legit the most useless teammates in the world, and you can kind of tell while playing the game. Voltaic is a good tempo item, and so you buy if you want to have more flexible options for your evolves, because Voltaic is a lot better with R evolve than Yumu's is, in my opinion. Serpents is really good if there are 3+ shields on an enemy team. And then for Last Whisper, you need to buy this item 3rd or 4th, otherwise you're just going to start doing negative damage when they even buy a cloth armor. It's like really cringe. So for second item, with Yumu as your core item, or even like Voltaic or Hubris, they're all kind of similar. You go Edge of Knights, Shojin, or Serpents. My most preferred is Edge of Knights because it's a very good defensive item. Because usually when you get a lead, you want to try to buy defensive items, and this one gives damage with it too, so it's very nice. And the same boat is with Shojin. Shojin's also a very great damage item, but also gives HP, which is also very nice. And you go Serpent sometimes second or third, just because they just have a lot of shields, and you might need the shield breaker very early on. And yeah, it's just a lot of lethality type items. Shojin, reason why you go with second is because you want a better second, third item kind of spike, and the game maybe like slowed down a lot, or like you're just very ahead and you don't really need like the extra defensive stats or the raw lethality on the second item, because Shojin does better the more items you have. It is very good on completion, but while building it, it doesn't feel as good as buying a Dirk and such. Now for Shojin core items, you go Edge of Knights, Grudge, or Serpents. Very weird second items, but it's because Shojin already gives so much HP and damage, and I just rather build like a very raw damage item. So sometimes building Grudge second straight up just feels very good for the game, and it also gives a lot of haste. So you're just very like, you just have a lot of rotations on your abilities, and you're gonna do lots of damage. Or you can just go Edge of Knight and then go Grudge third. Either or, both are fine. Both are fine, and then yeah, you got Serpents. So for Eclipse, you got. And well, there's no Cleaver, because I think Cleaver is just a terrible item on this champion. So again, Edge of Knights, as you can tell, one of the best second items on Kha'Zix. Or you can go Serpents if they have a shield break, but usually my preferred item is just a pretty big HP item, like Shojin is like the new kind of Cleaver. You want to go Shojin second, because it has very good 2-3 item scaling. And usually Eclipse, because you bought such a heavy item spike item, you can go Edge of Knights, you keep like spiking. Or you can have like a very good 2-3 item raw core with Shojin Grudge, and you will still do lots of damage while also being very tanky and strong for skirmishes. So usually my most preferred is always going Shojin second. Okay, for Last Whisper, you always want to have your Last Whisper item by 3rd or 4th, of course. And my most preferred is Grudge, because it gives all haste, and Kha'Zix just loves haste for his like W spam and like his E spam. Though you can build other items, because I'm pretty sure Lord Dominic's is still his highest damage possible item. But sometimes you might need to go Heal Cut, because maybe no one else can build it. But usually, like, so the AD carry can usually build it, so you don't need to. So ideally, you always buy Grudge or LDR. But my most preferred will always be Grudge, because it's the most consistent. I think the LDR is not that necessary. So, yeah. Okay, for 4+ items, pretty simple. You can go Dust Dance for heavy burst, Ma plus like burst 2+ AP, Collector if you want some dopamine. Shojin, if you haven't already built it, it's really good 4th, 5th item. It's just a great item. It also gives a lot of HP. The shield break item Serpents if you haven't already built it already, if you do like need it. Axing Mark I think is a very great 4+ item, because it gives a lot of haste and ED, and it gives lethality, which is very nice for Kha'Zix, and it's really good when you're about to hit 16 or are already 16, because having lower RCD makes you have more play potential. And then you got funny items like Dead Man's, which is good to just run around, or even Guardian's Angel if you want to just send it completely, or just bait fights out. For jungle pets on Kha'Zix, I usually only run blue spines majority of my games. Though I do think red spine has a lot of value, but I feel like I only take red spine when I'm playing challenger games. So maybe when you guys are playing equal skill level games, which I think most of you are, I'm pretty sure red spine has very high value, because that's how I feel. Like, I don't think blue spine is that like abusable unless like you know you're a lot better than your opponents, or if it's just a very side lane like heavy game where like you need to be anywhere possibly on the map. But like if this is very heavy team fighting, then red spine will just always have more value, and you only go green spine if you're the only frontliner for some weird reason, and usually if you are playing Conqueror. For your evolves and current day of Kha'Zix, the most consistent evolve order you can go is Q, W into E or R. You literally cannot go wrong with this evolve order. And the other one is R into W/E evolve. I mean, you go these evolves 2 or 3. Like this evolve order is very good for your team fighting. You're basically scaling for 2 evolves, so it feels very weak till you hit your second evolve usually. So I don't really like going that, because I think Kha'Zix is a very high pressure champion after you hit your level 6 and get your first evolve. So I usually only go R evolve if I feel like the game is kind of like it's hard to pressure and like I'm behind basically. My bans for current patch is either Bel'Veth, the Fury, Poppy, or Gwen. All cringe champions, though you can be Gwen matchup, don't get me wrong, but just a very cringe champion if you ever randomly throw the game. It just movie downs. Bel'Veth, very cringe champion, annoying. And the Fury, just not balanced. I'm pretty sure she's never isolated because her dogs are balanced, unless you change that. Someone let me know down in the comments below. But I know it's like playing against Yumi, so